I think Eric. Let me say, the politics of what he'd done at the time, I was not involved in at all. You know, although I will say this, that the inmates ended up running the asylum in WCW. I think there was too many guys on contracts, no-cut contracts, that could do what they wanted, show up when they wanted, and not turn up when they didn't want to turn up. So, you know, I don't know whether that was Eric signed those or it was someone in Turner signed those, but somehow Eric lost the reins for a while on that company, and I think he was going great, and somehow it got sidetracked, and I don't know what happened there, and I think it was just because the guys were getting paid too much and had no responsibility to the company to keep it going.
Let me ask you, in theory, the time you came up in the business, the best angles were usually probably steered by listening. I always hear listen to the fans, you'll know if it's going the right way. If you have to change something, you got to change somebody, you got to lose somebody, you listen to the fans. Can a wrestling company that intends to, for its primary product to be professional wrestling, and they can't say that word, they're now listening in 2006, just by nature, they're a public company now. They have to listen to the applause of Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Can you succeed as a wrestling company when you do that and not listen to them?
I guess you have to. Is it successful now?
Well, the stock price just went down to $8.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, I think there's a conflict there. Absolutely, you know, and I think that's the juggling aspect of it. You know, you've got to please these guys. You got to I think it's a hard thing to do, and I think that's why there is a struggle. You know, you got to please all those companies that you mentioned, your backers and your sponsors and investors, and I think it becomes more on that side than it does listening to the fans.
And there's the ultimate irony. We talked about the stock price down to $8 now, the lowest it's been in how long, and a record-setting WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah.
Two different worlds.
Yeah, work that one out. Let me know when you figure that one out. Awesome guy. Spent a lot of time with him. Done a lot of damage. A lot of it to my liver.
Who was the last man standing? Come on, he's not here.
It was me. Did he tell you that? Of course it was me. I'm not going to tell you any different.
Did you have a hand in bringing him in?
Actually, he was in the States before I was. Regal came over first, and then Dave Taylor came over, and then I was the third one here. I was dragging my heels. You know, I didn't really want to come. You know, I was having a great time in Europe, and you know, working every day and getting paid every day, and just having a great life. And then WCW called me, and I went, nah, I don't want to come. You know, so they asked me to come for 4 months. I went, nah, I'd come for 4 months. Hated every minute of it, and it was around the time of the Olympics in '96 in Atlanta, and you know, I'm like, I just didn't get it. I just couldn't. I was going from wrestling every single day, involved in all the angles, involved in all this stuff, and then come here and like working like 7 days a month. I'm going like, what? Culture shock. What's going on? I'm going home. So 4 months, I went home, and next year they called me. I said, listen, I can't sit. I'm a wrestler. I've been in this business all my life. I see my dad do it, travel with him. My grandparents went. I can't sit down and fiddle my thumbs, just working 7 days a month. So anyway, came back, offered me more money, and I was working 12 times a month. Brutal. It's killing me.
Why bother if you're giving them 1 minute and 52 seconds?
I ask myself that many times. And so if the girls, well, you know, it's all down to commercials. And here's the thing, if one match goes over its time and you got to get the commercial, you know, it just snowballs and ends up, you know, and it always seems like, and it's not, but it always seems that the girls get, you know.
That was the one expendable spot on the show that
yeah,
they saw.
Absolutely, it's collapsible.
Is this something that you would go to bat, like Maria told us you often went to bat for them? Is this the type of thing that you go into the office with?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got emotions about it. You know, I spent a lot of time with these girls, put a lot of time into them, and they're no different than the guys. You know, they have a little pride in what they're doing too, and you know, just come on. You know, let's be a bit fair here. You know, give the girls. I mean, a minute and a half. What can you accomplish in a minute and a half anyway? Nothing.
Apparently a battle royal.
Nobody gets over. All you see is like, oh, it's over. Yeah, it was. I guess with the talent, it was a little bit concerning because then now you've got maybe 3 ECW matches put on a SmackDown live event. Now that's 3 SmackDown matches taken out. Now there's talent sitting at home doing nothing. So yeah, there was a little bit of animosity and a little bit of, I guess, fear. You know, because that's the guy's livelihood, and now you're sitting at home because they've joined them together. But you know, you just got to bust your backside and try and get yourself into that position. But you know, you could. I don't think the talent could ever work out how to make sure they were on those live events. And you know, okay, it's now SmackDown, ECW live events. They have to have those ECW. They have to have the ECW guys there because it says ECW on there. So there's going to be someone upset, and there was for a long time.
Is it more than just, oh, here are some guys now that we're gonna take our spot on the card, and maybe a little more, here's some guys hitting each other with a brick that are taking my spot when I can go out and wrestle?
I don't think it was much. That was just the plain fact that I'm not on the show, and those ECW guys are now. They've joined them together, type thing.
Let the ribbing begin, I guess. Yes.
Yes. Well, fair play to him. He went and done it. He traveled through the country in a dress, through the airports. I don't think I would have done it.
Did you guys get
I shouldn't have said that because, you know, that'll come around to bite me.
I was going to say, now, you know, when you get the call, they're going to, you know, we saw something and we thought it'd be great if you put on a tutu.
Yeah, that's going to bite me, isn't it?
Did you guys give him hell over this?
Yeah, we did for a little while, but he just got on with it, and he went, I don't care.
Got on with it and got off with it.
Yeah, right.
What participation do you have to have in the creation? Are you doing voiceovers or screaming or grunting? Or?
Yeah, they do. You know, they obviously do this circular camera around you, and you do voiceovers. And you read lines and stuff. So you know, there's a lot of stuff goes into it. And it's very, very financially rewarding if the game's successful.
Has the locker room over the last 25 years changed from card games to video games?
Yes. Actually, it's ridiculous. You know, I don't know what it's like right now, but it was. I mean, everybody was in there. So much so that we had to put a stop to it. No more video games in the locker room.
Oh, is that true?
Yes. You know, everybody's in there like instead of paying attention to what they should be doing or watching matches or watching someone that could work. Maybe you could learn something from here watching this instead of going. You know. Yeah, there was a time we went, hey, video games, put them away.
Does anyone notice or care in the WWE?
They don't care. All it is putting heat on them. I mean, why would you care? It just sort of seems like a little bit WWF and WCW, right? Maybe they've done that. It's like going around in a circle. Who cares?
But they were at least somewhat competitive in the ratings. This is like the ant walking up to the elephant trying to spit on.
I mean, it's not going to bother anybody. It's just why would you put attention on another company? To me, that's stupid. You know, get on with your own business. Try and make it on your own. It's like they really think Vince is going to show up, or yeah, what? I don't see the point.
Well, you mentioned WCW, and we heard last week with Nash that in the trailer during those hot and heavy Monday Night Wars, there was a TBS monitor on all the time while they were producing their show. Was anyone watching TNA at this time?
No. Sorry, but no.
Forget the monitor. At home, did you ever turn on TNA?
No.
Okay.
Listen, I coach high school wrestling. I'm always out coaching
You're busy.
wrestling. I'm busy.
You're
I don't-
busy.
Well, what I find in all those multi-person matches is that, you know, if you're not involved in the whole match, it just seems like, you know, you're a bit part. You know, it's slow, it's boring. To be a participant, you know, it's like, you know, I like being in a match and being involved in all of it. You know, but if you're sitting and there's stuff happening, to me, I find them boring. I mean, they're good to be in, to be on TV, but it's like it's not personally satisfying to be, in my opinion, to be in there because you're not. You've got this much of the cake, you know, so you can't get your mindset into it. You can't get your psychology into it. It's just like, you know, I don't like them at all.
And a random mix of personalities, too.
Yeah.
Tough to tell a story with that. How meticulously is that booked? Are they saying you're going out at 5 minutes, you're at 8 minutes, you're at 12 minutes, you're at 14 minutes, you're left?
Basically, yeah. Basically, it's, you know, whatever happens type thing. But yeah, you got to make the best product you can.